In working with rigs, it's always required to finesse the character underneath, the drawing, the artwork. We have one part of our character here that has flexibinding engaged on it. And if I select the bones and we work with that, we see that we get these kind of funny bendy joints going on. You can finesse the object using either smart bones, which we learned about in the bone section, as well as using something called smooth joints, which we also learned about in the bone section. So I'll direct your attention there. What we're going to look at now for finessing is something we haven't covered yet, and it has to do specifically in working with the bind layers function, where we get some motion here like this, but we can see that the character is definitely made up of some joints here that we may not want like this. So we've got a couple things that we need to do here. One is, I don't want these lines between the arm joints right here. It just looks like a cutout character, but I want them to come together smoothly and nicely. The other thing is that we've got these sharp edges here, and that's just a dead giveaway that I need to work and change this art file a little bit to make it play better when we start bending it and working with it. So first, let's go ahead and finesse by correcting the art file just a little bit. To do that, I will come down to the right arm upper and select this and choose my shape tool. It resets everything so I can draw on it real easily, but I want to hide these other areas. I want to smooth out this section right here in that upper arm. In order to do that, I'll need to hide that lower arm simply so I can see it. And let me zoom in just a little bit. Now I can grab points that we have right here individually and simply drag these out and give myself some nice roundness to work with here. I'll turn back on this lower arm here and we'll look at a feature called patching. Now, patching is where I can hide this line right here. We have the ability with the shapes to hide this drawn area, but that doesn't help me when the arm moves and maybe we get some overlap between hidden and unhidden lines. A patch layer is designed to fix that. So let's go ahead and create one. With the right arm selected right here, I'll come up and choose New Layer and Patch. Now, when that comes up, we get a modal dialog box that says, okay, I know what layer you said you had this on. What do we want to actually patch it to? So I need to select the right arm lower and choose OK. Now, it looks like nothing happened. I'll need to back out just a little bit. But what I have now with this right arm lower patch highlighted, there's this circle that occurs right here with the character. Let me grab my layer manipulation tool and bring this over right in front of that arm joint right there. The next step then is to go ahead with this layer selected and come back and use my bind layer tool because I need to connect this to a bone. So with the bind layer tool selected, I'm going to connect this upper bone to it by clicking on it, and it highlights and turns red, so that function is completed. If I come back to the top bone vector layer right now and choose the bone manipulation tool, when I grab this arm and move it now, we get smoother motion. Now, it's not perfect yet. I can see that looks like I extended this curve just a little too far right here. Another way that I can deal with this maybe is to go ahead and modify this lower arm so that it has a drawn shape that goes into this area as well. But the patch tool is a nice way to go ahead and hide some of the overlap we have going on while giving you utility and function of bound layers to bones. So to fix this, it would be really easy to go ahead and come back into right arm upper. We'll choose our tool right there. I'm going to hide the right arm lower. We'll just zoom in a little bit. I'll select this point and pull it in. We can see the area of green that is being rendered because of the patch layer. And I may want to go ahead and activate this lower arm. I'm going to hide the patch for the moment and hide the right arm upper so I can see this joint on our shape and go, not that one. Let's get the right arm lower here. Smooth this out a little bit as well. With this finessing done to the drawing, turning back on the right arm upper, turning on the right arm patch that's connected to the lower, I'll select the bone vector layer, choose the bone manipulation tool, and now I'm getting a little better result here. Still a little bit of work that needs to be done and some finessing that we can use with smart bones if we want to go ahead and change how these parts bend when it flexes. But this is all part of finessing the structure and using patch layers.